If you think your portfolio is insulated from geopolitics, you are about to lose everything. A financial crisis isn't on the horizon, it's happening right now, and your window to react is closing fast. What you're seeing unfold is a global supply shock that is literally 10 times larger than the 2022 crisis that sent markets into a tailspin. This has just kicked off, and believe me, the mainstream media is completely missing the real story.
Look at these numbers. The sudden closure of the Strait of Hormuz has vaporized 20 million barrels of oil per day from the global market. That is a 10 times multiplier on the 2022 shock. It's why oil just smashed through $100 a barrel. But here's the thing. The price you pay at the pump is just a symptom. The real story isn't the problem, it's the solution being deployed behind the scenes. In this briefing, we're going to bypass the noise and show you the specific digital asset infrastructure that institutions are activating right now to solve this crisis.
All right, first let's get into the immediate, tangible impact this is having on the US economy, because it's happening as we speak.
The damage is real, and it's happening in real time. Just look at the US stock futures. They've absolutely plunged. The S&P is down 2%, and the Dow has cratered over 1,000 points. And let's be clear, this isn't some abstract number on a screen. This is a direct hit to your 401k, to your retirement account, all triggered by events on the other side of the planet.
And no, this isn't just a temporary dip. The latest economic models are confirming it. If these oil prices hold, US GDP is set to contract by 0.5%. That's $160 billion in economic output just gone, vaporized. This is the exact catalyst needed for inflation to make a violent comeback. This is Crypto Global News. And if you were watching this without a subscription, you are already falling behind. You're missing the critical alerts designed to protect you from this exact kind of chaos. So click subscribe right now and stay on the correct side of this timeline.
Okay, now we're going to pivot. From the market crash you see on the surface to the deeper, systemic failure that's happening behind the scenes. This is where the real story is.
So you have to ask yourself, why is this oil shock causing such a catastrophic breakdown? I mean, the system has weathered shocks before, right? The answer to that question is the key to understanding everything that happens next.
The answer has a name, the reverse carry trade. Now, in simple terms, this is when traders borrow a currency with low interest, say the Japanese yen, to invest in a currency with high interest, like the dollar. It's a hugely leveraged bet. But this oil shock has injected extreme volatility into the currency markets, triggering massive system-wide margin calls. And now all of these giant trades are being unwound at lightning speed, forcing everyone to dump assets and scramble for cash at the exact same time. It's creating a systemic liquidity constriction. The entire financial system is seizing up because there's simply no cash available to settle all the trades.
And here's the critical point. Our legacy financial infrastructure, things like SWIFT and ACH, they were never, ever built for this kind of stress. They are far too slow. They're siloed. They operate on business hours, not in the middle of a 24/7 global crisis. This has created a desperate, urgent demand from the biggest institutions for a brand new, instantaneous settlement layer, which leads to the big question, which institutions are going to break first? I've actually started a discussion on this in our community tab. Head over there and drop your thoughts on who you think is the most exposed.
You see, while all this chaos is erupting in public, a plan has secretly been in the works at the very highest levels of finance. The response was ready long before this crisis ever began.
And the proof? It's right there in the filings. A recently uncovered patent from the very heart of the legacy system reveals the entire endgame.
This right here, this is the solution. It's pulled directly from a patent filing by the DTCC. That's the Depository Trust and Clearing Corporation, the entity that settles trillions, with a T, in trades every single day. And they explicitly name XRP and XLM as, and I quote, digital liquidity tokens designed to solve this exact type of crisis. These are the new rails, and they were chosen by the heart of the system itself. I sent out an alert on this patent the moment it was discovered. To get that kind of intelligence delivered directly to you, join my Telegram. Just use the QR code on your screen or the link down in the description.
Now let's take this a step further and see how this institutional solution gets scaled up into a tool of national geopolitical power. Because this is way bigger than just the markets. And this isn't some wild speculation. This is now official U.S. government strategy. The US Treasury Secretary, Scott Bessent, has gone on the record saying the Trump administration is making digital assets a massive priority. They see exactly what's happening, and they're positioning to use it to their advantage.
And this slide shows you precisely how they're going to do it. The goal is to weaponize stablecoins to maintain US dollar dominance. By creating a regulated framework where every single major stablecoin has to be backed by US Treasuries, they can artificially engineer a massive surge in demand for US debt, taking it from about $300 billion today to an estimated $2 trillion. They are effectively forcing the entire digital asset world to fund America's debt, turning this new technology into a powerful tool of sovereign control.
Okay, so let's connect all of these falling dominoes. Let's put it all together into one clear, inevitable picture of what's happening.
It's a straightforward three-stage process. First, you have the geopolitical crisis that creates the desperate need for a new system. Second, institutions like the DTCC deploy their pre-planned patented solution using assets like XRP and XLM. And third, sovereigns like the United States integrate this new financial technology to project their power on the world stage. This isn't a theory, it is a sequence of events that is already in motion.
So the most important thing to understand is this. The new financial rails are being laid as we speak, right in the middle of all this chaos. The only real question left is, who will be the first to use them? The answer involves a very specific alliance of nations and banks that are already preparing to make that first move. And we know exactly who they are. We're going to reveal that alliance in our very next briefing, so make sure you like, share, and subscribe. Now click the card you see on your screen for our deep dive into the top 5 assets that are positioned to become the absolute core of this new system.
Stay ahead in the crypto market. Subscribe now for the latest global news and updates.